Hey, it's Steph. I just wanted to fill you in. I know I said I'd be back like 3 or 4 days after embryo transfer, and it's a ways after that. About 8 days after. So, sorry, but that's just me. I'm not very on top of things like that. We've been super busy. Anyways, on Wednesday when I went into the clinic to have my blood pregnancy test, I didn't feel pregnant at all. I didn't have any symptoms, no breast tenderness or fatigue or not overly tired, just nothing, like no morning sickness that you hear about. And honestly, I felt like Aunt Flo was coming. I felt like my cycle was going to be starting. I had like cramping going on, and I told the nurse when I went in there that I don't feel good about it. I feel like I'm going to be starting my period. It was exactly like it. And so she said, well, sometimes that's a good thing. And she just was holding my blood vial in her hands, and she's like, hopefully this will do the trick. And I was like, yeah, work your magic, blood. So, since we are from a couple hours away, and it took about 3 hours to get the results, I had to stay at the hospital the whole time, because if I was pregnant, then I'd get more crinone, and if I wasn't, there's no need for it, So I had to stay there to see if I needed to buy more. Excuse me. So, the nurse said that they call everybody. So she said I should be expecting a call by 1. So 1:30 rolled around. I still hadn't received a call, and she knew I was waiting, so she said they'd call me first. So they didn't call me, so I went back upstairs to the 10th floor, and I went in there, and was asking what was going on, and the lady at the front just said, oh, they actually call it 2. So I had to wait around a little bit longer, and I just asked if I could wait in the waiting room at the fertility clinic instead of downstairs in the lobby by the coffee cart and the cafeteria, because it was kind of loud, and I was just really nervous, and I had anxiety, and I just had to leave at one point to the bathroom and just stay there and kind of focus on breathing because my nerves, I just kept thinking about it. So I tried to grab the newspaper and read it, and try to get my mind off of it, but it was really hard when I was in the hospital. And anyway, so I ended up staying there for about 30 more minutes, and the same nurse who I told that I didn't think that the results were going to be good to came out to the lobby, and she said, Stephanie, you're going to want to go downstairs and go outside because you're going to be screaming. And I was like, what? And she said, go downstairs. And she goes, it's a good thing. So I was like shocked. And there was a couple right next to me, and I didn't know how long they had been TTCing for. And I just didn't want to, I don't know, it was kind of awkward because I didn't want to, it was really quiet in a quiet setting. And so I slowly made my way downstairs with a grin on my face that I was trying to control, walking past people. It's like a hospital where a bunch of sick people go, so I didn't want to be smiling too big. Anyway, so I went downstairs, and then the nurse called me, and she said, so what we like to see as far as beta numbers go, we want them to be at least at 100. And I know some doctors say 80. I've heard some people say that their doctors have told them they want them to be at least at 80, so it's probably like 80 to 100, that range. But my clinic says they really want to see 100. So she said my beta number was 618. Yeah, 618. So that was really good. She said I'm definitely pregnant, and it doesn't necessarily mean twins, though, from what I gather. So we still don't know if both took or not, because there's some people who have some women who have really high beta numbers and they have a singleton, and some women who have really low beta numbers to start with and they have twins. So it'll be interesting to find out. And our ultrasound, our first ultrasound, is at 6.5 weeks on April 25th. Excuse me. So we'll find out April 25th if it's singleton or twins. On the day of my transfer, everything that could have went wrong, in my opinion, went wrong. I wanted this quiet, peaceful setting. Anything that I could do to help to keep the embryos sticking in there, I wanted to do. Of course, we have to go in with our... I'm so sorry. I just got over a cold too. Well, it's still kind of in my system. But they want us to go in with a full bladder. It helps them see what they're doing better, I guess. And I already had some fluid left over in my system from the stimming meds. And so after the transfer, which they did transfer to, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. And the clinic where I go, they want you to lay back for 30 minutes after transfer. And 12 minutes into it, I had to get up and go. The nurse tried to bring a bedpan in, and she tried to put a towel in between my legs and have me pee like that. And I could not get comfortable. Like, that is so not me. I cannot get comfortable enough and relaxed to do that. And my husband's in the room, and he was, like, getting mad at me. He's just like, just go. But I couldn't. So I ended up going to the bathroom 12 minutes into it. And I had actually asked the doctor who did the transfer about that, and he said, well, they've done studies to where there's some women who get up and walk around right after transfer and some women who lay back 30 minutes, and they did a study, and the women who got around and walked right after, their embryos stuck more. Like, they had a higher percentage of pregnancies. So anyways, but the nurse still was so persistent on me trying to be in there for 30 minutes because that's just the way the clinic has always done it. So I think most clinics are like that. I mean, it makes sense to me. So anyways, so I had to go to the bathroom, and I was kind of paranoid about that. And then after that, we get in the car, and we had to there was a little walk to the car, and then, like, the crazy rush hour traffic, and I get stressed out in the city. I'm not a city slicker at all. And we have to move to the city. Well, we already did. We got a place, by the way, so that's good. That's a relief. But driving through the traffic and the horns and the congestion of the city, I was stressed. So my stress level was up a little bit. And then... excuse me, the next day I had to go home to go to work the day after that, but I wanted to be home the day before that. So the day after transfer, I got up and I drove home, and that's about 2 hours. And then I was so constipated that I didn't know what to do. And I went to my parents' house, and my mom's like, here, take some Smooth Move. And I was like, I don't know if I can take that. So I called my doctor, and sure enough, she's like, take some Smooth Move. So it's an herbal tea, and it's disgusting. And I used to have to do it when I was a teenager. And I remember it gave me the most terrible stomach cramps, but it worked. And I thought, well, maybe since I'm older now, I'm 28, maybe like my body is thicker so it can handle it better or something. But no, that Smooth Move sent me to the floor like doubled over with sharp jolting pains. I was on the floor. Ask my mom. No, but I was seriously on the floor, laying down like, ow. And then the next day after that, I went to work, but I was pushing so bad, like, since I was so constipated, that I was actually, like, bleeding. And I